And welcome back. I'm just spending some time down here in the Mob Towers collection area. And I've been collecting quite a bit of stuff. And this is something that I do on a fairly regular basis. Whenever I'm not working on a particular project or not actively doing something on a project, then what I do is stop down here at the collection point and collect 1 or 2 or 3 or however many inventory loads full of stuff, and place it in storage here for when I'm going to need it. Looks like I need another chest for arrows. And basically, that's how I do that. That's how I manage to have as much of everything as I do. And so what I'm going to be doing now is, now that I've collected up TNT enough for 5 stacks of gunpowder enough for 5 stacks of TNT, I'm going to head out to the sand mine and come up with enough sand to make that 5 stacks of TNT. It's not that I had a shortage of gunpowder, because along this wall here, all of these chests, including this one in the front, are filled with gunpowder. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 5 chests of gunpowder may sound like a lot, but when you think about it, it's only 1 chest of TNT. So it's not as much as you might think. And I realize that perhaps having 5 or 6 chests of feathers may not be all that useful, but I'm thinking that, who knows, perhaps someday in the future feathers will have more use than they do now. And when that day arrives, if it arrives, I will be prepared, having lots and lots of it. All of it obtained legitimately by way of this mob tower. Let's see, let's go ahead and clear this out. Just stash all this here. And yes, my mob tower also produces pork chops, leather, and ink sacks, and wool, because the very top floor is open to the sky and is made of grass. Well, it's made of dirt with grass growing on it. Okay. Put these logs back. And now going to head up to the rail station and grab a minecart south and get off at the sand mine. And I'll catch you at the sand mine. Alright. I believe this is, yes, this is my stop. Someday I need to build something here, perhaps a mini station or something that gives you the option to continue on or turn over towards the sand mine and have another track that goes there. In the meantime, it's time for a swim. Anyway, while I'm doing my thing at the sand mine here, I do have something that I want to talk about. And this was inspired by Hypno's recent video about the chicken sorting, in which he set up the chicken sorting setup and give himself the option for egg farming and such. And one of the issues raised was the hunger issue that is in 1.8, the hunger feature. And the question basically was, if you're sitting AFK, does the hunger continue to deplete your food bar and cut you out of, end up leaving you where you're going to end up dying of starvation, basically, while you're AFK? And I was curious about this as well. So I sent a tweet to Jeb on Twitter, and I asked him, does the hunger thing affect people sitting AFK for hours while something grows or a mob tower produces stuff? And honestly, I don't suppose I actually expected a reply, because people like Jeb get thousands and thousands of tweets every day, and they can only reply to just so many, and if they replied to everything, they'd never have time to get anything else done. I understand that. So I was actually surprised when I got a reply from him. Gotta watch that cactus. And anyway, I did get a reply, and he said, and I quote, "No, the food meter is only affected by activity." So that means when you're inactive, the food meter will not be dropping. Your food will not be consumed or used up. That much is good. But then he sent a follow-up tweet, which wasn't so good. Quote, "Although we may make mob grinders obsolete in the future, for instance, EXP orbs are only dropped if a player did the killing." And that's all fine and dandy. I'm not too sure I'm really all that concerned with EXP orbs to begin with. At least not now. It smells a little bit too RPG for my taste. I don't play Minecraft because it's an RPG. In fact, one of the reasons I play it is because it's not an RPG. I gave up on RPGs a long time ago. And so I responded again. I basically said that if I'm sitting at a mob grinder AFK, I don't care about the experience orbs. What I want is the item drops. Which makes sense. That's what you build a mob grinder for. And so he replied to me again. Yeah, but that's what I was hinting at. We haven't changed it yet, but we may make drops work the same way as orbs. And that's the thing that doesn't sound so good. Basically what he's saying is that what they may do, and they haven't done it yet, but they may do, is to make mob drops so that they only drop when it's a player killing the mob. That's a problem. That would indeed make mob grinders completely obsolete. It would also make it next to impossible to come up with significant amounts of TNT for a large project, such as the large project that I'm working on right now. I have used just over 15 stacks of TNT so far, and I anticipate using another 15 stacks or more. And I don't see that as a problem, because it's my world, it's my game. I built the mob tower. I did it legitimately too, without the use of editors of any kind. And so that's fine. I don't mind spending that much TNT because I built the resources to allow me to make more of it. And so I pretty much said as much to Jeb in a follow-up tweet. And his next tweet was, unless you play creative mode, because I was talking about how there wasn't a legitimate way to acquire lots of TNT if he obsoleted mob grinders. And creative mode, well, let me put it this way. Creative mode is fine for those people who want to play it that way. I don't. What I want to play is legitimate single-player survival mode, vanilla Minecraft. That's what I've been playing. That's what I like. It's what I want to continue playing. And so I said as much. Sorry, in my mind, for a vanilla LP series like I'm doing, creative mode is tantamount to cheating. I won't do it. And it is. To switch to creative mode just to acquire something that I can't get in normal play, that's cheating. I don't like the idea at all. It ruins the flavor of the game. And there's something else, too. Notch has said repeatedly, on many occasions, that as long as something was fun, enjoyable, and people liked it, then he wouldn't remove it from the game, even if it originated from a bug. Of course, the first thing that comes to mind there is the minecart boosters, and they're being replaced with powered rails. I'm sure many people have mixed feelings about that as well. But because Notch has said this on repeated occasions, I think that it is time for a campaign, very much akin to a letter writing campaign that was started by Star Trek fans in 1967. You see, NBC had decided to cancel Star Trek after the second season. A letter writing campaign was started, and NBC received millions of letters from fans. The result was Star Trek was given a third season after all. Of course, NBC then proceeded to put it into the time slot of death, late night Friday, and killed it that way anyhow. But the point is, the massive letter writing campaign worked. I am proposing something similar for this issue with the mob grinders. Specifically, I think of it as we'll call it a Save the Mob Grinder campaign, in which a lot of tweets and emails, Minecraft forum posts, and so on, raise this issue and attempt to make clear to Notch and Jeb and everybody else at Mojang that those of us who build the mob grinders want them, and consider it to be an important part of the game. The theory here is the squeaky wheel gets the grease. It's worked in the past. I see no reason why it shouldn't continue to work. And so I would like to humbly suggest that everybody who is interested in using mob grinders of whatever design should do something about letting Notch and Jeb know that we really don't want to see them go. I think there is a real possibility that this could have a positive effect in ensuring that that change does not get made. Let's see. Okay, about 9 more stacks of sand ought to do it. Alright, I think I've ranted on about the mob grinder issue long enough here. I'm going to go ahead and finish collecting this sand, and I will catch up with you when I'm done. And welcome back. I have completed my sand mining operation, and I've made up another 6 stacks of TNT, which I'm bringing back with me to the project site. And when I get there, I'll be giving an update on the progress of clearing the land and going over some of the possibilities of how to go about doing this passive mob system. And a little something I found that I didn't expect. First, a quick trek through what is quickly becoming not so much of a wilderness anymore. Oh, it's still fairly wild, but as you can see, a lot of the trees are gone, and more will be going soon as I begin to clear cut the area. As you can see, I'm getting ready for something of a rather big blast. I'm not quite ready for it yet because, well, honestly, I had intended to spend another couple of hours working to get it set up, and I had to get away from Minecraft because I had some other things to deal with, so this had to sit. But I will get to it in the next video, I do believe. In the meantime, I'm going to stop in here at the shack, grab some instant daylight, and the tour will commence. Alright. There's Mr. Skeleton Burns here. Take a moment and put this TNT away. I won't be using it just yet. Yeah. First, there is the unexpected surprise that I found while I was finishing the task of clearing up this area over here. And yes, I see the creeper in the distance. In fact, let's go tend to him. Oh, crap. I was taking care of one, another one showed up beside me. Behind me, I suppose. Sometimes I think maybe it just isn't quite my day. Oh well. Nothing irretrievably damaged, I suppose. I just have to get everything from wherever it flew. Okay. Almost everything. It looks like I'll be stopping by the mining base fairly soon to pick up the gold to make a new clock. Other than that, I seem to have everything. Okay. Anyway, as I said, I was clearing this area here, getting some of the iron and coal resources that was here. And along the way, there it is. As I was working over here clearing grass, I found something. I saw cobblestone under the sand. And what did I find but a spawner? And this little guy is a skeleton spawner. Let's see. That's good. More cocoa beans. Gunpowder, how comical. And of course I can always use chests. But I found it interesting. I saw the cobblestone sticking out of the sand, or that part of the sand, and some of it had been blasted away. And around the edge over there. So I dug in and I found this under all the sand. It was buried in sand about 3 layers deep. So I may be coming back to try and trap this one, only this time instead of a drowning trap, I think maybe some kind of a lava-based trap. Something that will be much faster. Those drowning traps are fine, but it takes them a good 30 seconds to drown. So maybe something with lava will go a little faster. Other than that, I've been doing a lot of blasting, and the area is definitely showing some serious signs of change. I've got a large blast that I'm setting up over there, as I said. And this area here is now, it now goes pretty much from the center line over there to the western wall over that way. And that means that most of a 150 block wide area is clear. And I'd say that it's probably, well, 150 blocks long and probably about 50 or 60 blocks wide at least, maybe longer. And what I'm thinking to do with this larger blast is to clear a very large area all at the same time. What I'm thinking here, and I've got fences in here to keep passive mobs out of there, because what I'm going to do is in here, from atop one of those towers that a lot of people love so much, a temporary construction thing, where I can have a good view of what, by the time I'm finished with it, is going to be about 5 stacks of TNT all set out with redstone and repeaters for ignition and so on. I'm going to have a wooden pressure plate right there. And then from up on top of this tower, I'm going to drop something down onto that pressure plate. That will activate the TNT while I will be up on top of the tower, like so. Only much higher up, where I can see the whole thing a series of charges, several lines of charges that are going to go, that actually do go, all the way to the western wall from the center line, 150 blocks away. And that's going to be spectacular, I think. A very large chunk of land is going to vanish in one blast. And let's see. Get down off of this thing. This arrangement of fencing will suffice because of the turns you have to make to get through it, and the passive mobs generally don't go to that extreme. Also been working over here. And with this, I did something a little different. With this, it occurred to me, again, another one of these vertical towers, a 1x1 tower. And then from the top of it, I extended an arm all the way over that way. Attached a TNT to that arm, about 4, 5, 6 blocks apart, whatever. And then backed up along the length of it, hitting it with the flint and steel as I went. And basically had myself a little bit of a bombing run. It was very entertaining and I think very effective. As for the passive mob system itself, in the next video I'm going to start actually getting some construction done on that, and my blasting and grass removal functions will be relegated to offline activity. I'm going to start, well, this is the center point right there, and the mob area itself is going to be about 30 or 35 blocks up in order to take advantage of gravity for the delivery and killing system. And I'm going to work out the details of that and start construction on that in the next video. And I think really that's about all I've got today. There's been a lot of stuff going on personally, and some things haven't been so great. And to be honest, I have had a really hard time getting up the inspiration to get this video done. This little exchange that I had with Jeb last night, I think, was the kicker, though, that actually got me doing it. So that's about it, I think. In closing, I will point out something that somebody said on Reddit, and that is, and I quote, "Even if every single creeper you killed dropped 2 gunpowder, that would mean over 300 creepers just to get a single stack of TNT. Killing 300 creepers would take how long? Probably, well, if you were restricted to using a bow or a sword or some way of attacking each individual one individually, killing 300 creepers could easily take, I don't know, a month. At least that was my first impression. I don't know, maybe some people can kill creatures faster than that, but it would be prohibitively boring and a major fun killer, you know. And that keeps reminding me of that quote about Notch not wanting to remove something that was fun that people enjoyed in the game. So let's hope that some wisdom prevails. In the meantime, remember, save the mob grinder. Email, tweet, Minecraft forum posts, videos, whatever. The idea is to make people aware of the potential problem and to make Notch and Jeb aware that there are an awful lot of people that don't want that change to be made. And as for those individuals who say that they like the idea of mob grinders being removed or made obsolete, all I can say is, if you don't want to use a mob grinder, you don't have to. Those of us who want to, especially in our single-player worlds, would like to have the ability to do so. You know, nobody's forcing someone to make a mob grinder if they don't want the idea. But I think those of us who want to use them have the right to do so. And that's about all I'm going to say, because I'm going to start ranting if I don't quit this. So I'll catch y'all in the next video, and we'll start building something for a change. I'm sure that will be a whole lot more fun than listening to me rant. Take it easy. I'm out of here.